Are you interested to break into the tech industry even if you don't have a background in IT? Well, you're in luck. Today we're chatting with Kevin Apolinario, who made the leap from restaurant world to tech industry after 12 years. Kevin's incredible journey is a testament that nothing is impossible in the world of IT and cybersecurity. No matter who you are, where you come from, or what your background is, with the right mindset, strategy, and perseverance, you too can make your dreams reality. So don't be afraid to take the first step. Embrace the challenges and start the process, because in the end, I can guarantee you that it will be all worth it. Hello friend, if you're new here, my name is Sohail. I'm a cybersecurity consultant. I'm also passionate about helping people to break into IT, and I'm thrilled to have Kevin with us here today to share his insight and experience with us. During our chat, we'll be deep diving into how Kevin was able to transition from restaurant world to IT industry, and the challenges and opportunities he encountered along the way. We'll also be discussing the mindset and skills that you need to have in order to become successful in IT industry. So, if you're interested in learning more about how to break into IT or cybersecurity, or hearing from other industry experts, make sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video. In addition, if you have any questions or comments, make sure to leave them down below. Thank you. Right now, yeah, just tell me about yourself, like your journey to IT. How did you start it? Yeah, things like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, definitely. So I did 12 years of restaurant, so I have 12 years of restaurant experience. And I also have 4 years in NYPD. I
Oh,
have worked various roles in restaurant. 4 years in NYPD. I was gonna give you more questions and answers because you're gonna ask me more questions now because of that. But
yeah.
I did that. I went to like a technical training school, which is a school in New York, because I'm based in New York. It's
Yep.
called Brooklyn Adult Learning Center. So basically, that school has A plus, Network plus, Security plus training, and it's free.
Wow.
And
Yep. Free.
they give you free training. Absolutely, it's free. You don't gotta pay anything. All you gotta do is just show up. So I went to that school. Um, I didn't know about A plus, like CompTIA A plus. So
Right.
I was a very big gamer. You can see I got a gaming PC,
Yeah.
but I'm a big gamer. So like I play Steam, I play Counter-Strike Source, Counter-Strike Counter-Strike Source 1.6,
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2, all the Steam games, Day of Defeat, and I used to be on what's called Ventrilo. It's a
All
long
right.
time ago,
Okay.
Ventrilo. So Ventrilo is like TeamSpeak. So
Mm-hmm.
Ventrilo is similar to Discord, except there's no video. It's just voice. So you could talk to
Voice.
other people in
Yeah.
channels. You could just talk to people. So I was part of that. I was part of that as well, and I was part of a gaming community. So
Mm-hmm.
I used to be part of a club for gamers, and I used to play a lot of Counter-Strike stores. So we would play scrims, which basically they're like 1 point scrims basically is like 5 versus 5. So you're playing like the 5 best players of another team, and
Yeah.
you guys have 5 players as well, like including me. So I have 4 other people that are part of me that work with me. And
Mm-hmm.
basically we played each other to see who's the best, who kills the most people, and who's the best. So um what does that conversation have to do with IT? Okay, so
Yeah.
what I did was I used to play a lot of video games, and then all the guys that I play video games with, they're all military veterans. So most of the guys are veterans, and a lot of them work IT. So one
Mm-hmm.
of them told me about the CompTIA A plus, and I'm like, oh, A plus, like what is that? Is that like a certification? Is that like A plus, like your grade? Like you go to school, you get A plus, your
Yeah.
grade. I don't know what it was. So he said, no, it's a certification. It's a neutral certification that helps you get well rounded in fundamentals in IT. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go look at that. So then I look at that. I went to a school. I got my A plus training, and then my teacher taught me like the fundamentals of A plus, like software and hardware.
Yeah.
And after learning that, I started fixing computers in the school right there. So like inside the school, I started fixing computers. He invited the Department of Education, the school, I guess the different
Yep.
types of schools, the manager of that, the head of that. He invited him to interview me, and he interviewed me. He really liked me, and I got my first job working for the DOE after that. And then I moved my way up, and then I
Yeah.
slowly went to other IT jobs, and now I work cybersecurity. So that's a little bit about me. I also have a YouTube channel as well called KevTech IT Support. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. You can find me as my full name, Kevin Pornario. And I'm also a technical trainer as well. So that is pretty much in a nutshell who I am. It's a lot of information, but that's pretty much who I am. So
Yeah. So so what was the motivation? Like why IT? Because there are many other things out there that you can pursue, but what was the main factor for you to get into IT, you know?
so when I first before getting into IT, I was always like tinkering with stuff. So like me,
Mhm.
I like to like break stuff and fix stuff. So going back in time again, like I would mess with the Gigapet. Not sure if you remember the Gigapet. So I used to
No, I
mess with
don't.
the Giga, change the battery on the Gigapet. It's like the 90s, it's like really old, like while
Yeah.
back. So like I used to mess with the Gigapet. Um I used to be like the guy that I would just like something would be broken and I would try to fix it. Even though it's broken, I would try to fix it. So
Mhm.
my parents were like, you should probably look at like doing like computer repair or something like that because you're good at that for
Ah,
some reason. I don't know why you're good at that for some reason. So I'm like, let me when I went to the school, I'm like, let me look at A plus because I'm the type of guy that is curious about computers and fixing stuff,
yep.
but I just didn't know about it. I didn't know a lot about it. So then let me sign up for the school. And that's where I actually liked it. Oh, changing the hard drive, changing memory, fixing laptops. And
Yeah.
I remember that same year I got into fixing mobile devices. I was fixing iPhones. So like I was fixing the
Oh,
screen on the
cool.
iPhone, like I was fixing iPhones for people, and I was doing virus removal as well. And I was doing a lot of PC upgrades, like upgrading everyone from Windows XP to
Right.
Windows 7. I was also doing virus removal, adding memory, changing hard drives, and just a little bit of consulting on the side besides me
Mhm.
working IT. So I got into IT because of that, because I don't know, for some reason I like computers, so I ended up doing that. So it
Yeah, you were
was
passionate about it, right? That's one of the main
yeah.
reasons. So
Hmm.
you mentioned like a CompTIA certification A plus. I mean, a lot of people, do they even need that to get into IT? Like, is that necessary?
So that really depends where you live. So like it's really hard to answer that question because it really depends where you live. Some areas will require you to have A plus. Some areas will not require you to have A plus. But I've seen people get jobs just without having A plus, just building a home lab and
Hmm.
setting up a server and setting and doing project work and then actually adding that experience to their resume. So like it's not like when you wear a shirt, it doesn't fit everybody. It's not one size fits all in IT. Like some people get jobs if they go to college and they put that on the resume. Some people get jobs that have a certification. I see people get jobs without having none of those things, like literally no certs, no
Yeah,
degree, just go into IT like that. Project work. I see people get jobs in IT just getting a reference from someone else because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? So
yeah, exactly.
it's very like it's hard for me to answer that question because like everyone gets into IT their own way. So like not everyone's journey is the same. So it's hard to answer that question.
Yeah, 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 you're
Mm-hmm.
right. But like you said, that it's who you know. Maybe even you can get into IT without any certifications or things like that, but just referencing or things like that, someone can reference you and you can get into IT without any problem, right? So how do you
Yeah.
approach
Mm-hmm.
studying for certification? Like if you want to get a certification, how do you approach that? Like what's your approach?
So the first thing I look at, like if it's a certification, I look at the like if it's like an A plus, for example, I look at the objectives of the certification
Mm-hmm.
and I go based on that. And a lot of people will have their own way of learning. My way of learning is I watch videos and I like to write things down. So it goes back to how you learn because me, I have to learn by writing it. If I watch a
Yeah,
video, I kind of learn it, but if I write something and I watch a video and write something, I it stays with me. It's actually the information stays with me. I'm very me personally, I'm extremely hands-on. I don't learn reading a book.
uh,
I cannot read a book. It's just I'll go to
not for
sleep if I
you.
read a book. That's just how my mind is like. My mind is like that. It's just my way of learning is me physically doing it and me taking notes and writing things. So
Yeah.
that's how I learn. Everyone learns their own way. Like, you have to figure out how you learn. That's very important.
So how do you find the motivation? Because I've seen in the past people get like they start learning about a certification, they want to study for it, but after like few weeks they just lose motivation and things like that. How do you find that motivation for yourself?
That goes back to work-life balance. Also goes back to you putting in, like, you put in breaks, like you take breaks in between studying, because it's not all study, 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 study. You can't be doing that 24/7, because you're gonna lose
Yeah,
your mind if you do that. So
exactly.
the best way to do it is if you take some breaks in between. So like you pick 2-3 hours a day to study, and then you take breaks. You just take breaks. You cannot be doing 2-3 hours of studying every day, and obviously you're gonna get burned out. So this, at some point of the week, you should be taking breaks. You cannot be doing it. You cannot be going into a book 24/7. It's gonna drive you crazy. So the very most important thing is, like I said, having breaks in between, and don't overwhelm yourself. And that's very
Yeah,
important, because when you go and study, and what happens is you get burned out. That's one thing. The other thing is that you don't even get anything done. Like, sometimes you gotta take a break. And this is important. Sometimes you gotta take a break, because you when you take a break and then you come back to something, you actually see it differently when you take a break. Sometimes you see it differently once you take a break. Oh, I didn't realize that until I actually took a break. So that's the same thing with studying,
yeah.
but also the same thing with when you working with customers, or um you're trying to resolve an issue or a ticket,
Hmm.
and you try 5 different things and it doesn't work, and then you take a step back, you take a break from that ticket, and then you come back to it. Yeah, you know what? I'll think about it tomorrow and reevaluate this ticket again, and I go ahead and fix it after that. So yeah, you gotta take breaks. Breaks are very important, and that
Yeah, I
and
think
that's anything. So
yeah, I think another reason will be like your why. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I think if you can find a good reason that you're why you're studying for something, like you want to get a better life by getting into IT, you want to pass that certification, like you have to keep remembering that reason why you all started all of this, right? Like, what's the point
yeah,
of
your why is very important. It's very important that your why. It's just like a lot of people go into IT. This is like common in IT. But people go into IT thinking they're gonna make a lot of money, which is not true when you're brand new. Is you go
yeah,
into IT, you get that first job, and then you build your experience, and then you make money afterwards. The money will come. The
will
money will
come.
come
Yeah,
to you at some point, but you need to get your first job first, and you need to get your foot in the door first. And you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Is this what I like to do? And is this for me? And am I doing this for my family, for my loved ones? You really got to think about what's your why. It's extremely important, because when you go into this, and at the end of the day, you could do so much, but if you're not motivated, or you don't have passion for it, or you don't want to
passion.
do
Yeah,
it at all, it's basically you're wasting your time. It's just how it is. So hmm
yeah, like you mentioned, like you have to do this for the long run, right? If you're not
hmm
passionate about it, you won't be able to get anywhere.
yeah, you're gonna be miserable.
Yeah, exactly.
This
And
is a,
sometimes it gets stressful, like work-life balance sometimes doesn't exist, especially at start. It's going to be very tough. So you mentioned soft skills. I see a lot of people just they want to go and learn about the hard technical stuff, like uh learning about the topic in IT and things like that. But I think soft skills are more important. Like, what is your thought on that? Like, soft skills versus hard skills, yeah.
Um, for me, like when I train my students, I train them to be in the middle. So what that means is, by basically what that means is, I expect you to be a little technical, but also have soft skills as well, because depending on the job, and depending on the person you're working with, and depending on the interview you're having with a hiring manager, like, some of them, they care about soft skills, and the reason why that's important is because you can have over 10 certifications, but if you don't
Hmm.
know how to communicate, you're in trouble. That's just the reality of IT. You can have all the certifications in the world and be the
Yeah,
smartest person in the room, but if you don't know how to talk to people, you're going to be in a world of trouble. That's just the reality of IT. The reason I say that is based on my experience, because I work a lot in my previous jobs. When I
hmm,
worked IT support, I worked a lot with executives, and I had this coworker of mine, super smart. Like, he had like 15 certifications,
wow,
very smart guy, really good with backend stuff, SSCM, building packages, doing updates and patches. So super smart guy. But then when you grab him and the CEO, I'm talking about the owner of the company, is asking him for help, and he's trying to explain what he did to fix it. The CEO looked at him like, he's like, I don't want this person in my room anymore. Go get Kevin because he's
Wow.
less technical. I don't want him out of my room. I don't want him here. So it's very important that you know how to communicate with customers and clients. Don't be too technical because some of them don't care what you did, how you fixed it. All they want to know is it works. That's it. That's all they care about. So
Just
some of
fix
these
the
executives
stuff.
are like that. So
Yeah.
that's very important. The other thing with soft skills too, and this is again the same. It's not the same person, but it's another person that I work with. Um, don't be a know-it-all. Like the people that I
Yeah.
work with in IT that they're know-it-all. They think they know everything, but they don't. Like nobody in IT knows everything. That's just the reality of IT. So when you go and do a job interview, a lot of these hiring managers, they ask themselves like, can I hire this person? Is this
Mm.
person going to get along with my team, or are they gonna be toxic to my team? Can I work with this person 24/7, like Monday through Friday, 8 to 5? Can I work with this person, or am I going to strangle this person because they're horrible? They're horrible at talking to people. So that's why
Yeah.
customer service is very important, but also knowing, being a team player, having the willingness to learn, creating documentation when you're manager, because nobody likes doing documentation. It's so boring, but you have to know how to do
Yeah.
that. Um, just being able to communicate and talking to the customer and updating them on the tickets and all that good stuff. That goes a long way. Those things are very important. So soft skills is always going to be valuable in IT,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're working with C-level folks like executives. Like
Yeah.
those guys don't care about the technical stuff. They just want to know
Yeah.
that when you go, and I'll tell you right now, when you go into and this is specifically IT and cybersecurity, right? I'm talking about IT cybersecurity. Um, the C-level folks, the executives, the CEO, the CFO, CIO, they look at IT as a cost.
Mm.
IT is a cost for them. It's like, why are we
Yeah.
spending all this money on this software? Or why are we spending this much money on? So as someone that has soft skills, you need to explain to them why you're expanding so much money. Why you're giving out so much money, or why basically how much money are you willing to give out, and why is it important? You have to explain that to them in a non-tech way, because they have to understand, like, especially for cybersecurity, like, oh, we're gonna buy this software to protect the company, right? You have to explain to them why you're spending that much money and how is it going to benefit the company. So that's very important, and understanding the business needs of the company, because at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
IT for them is a budget. IT for them is not really like it's a waste of money for them. For some people in IT land, like the executives,
Yeah.
because I work a lot with executives, they say, "Oh, this is a waste of money. We don't need this, or we don't need that." We don't need these Cisco firewalls. You remove the Cisco firewalls and then they get hacked all of a sudden. Okay, what happened to our budget here? Why you guys remove the firewall? Oh, I removed the firewall because you guys said we don't need it. You guys got
Yeah.
hacked now because you didn't have a firewall. So it's very important that you have to know how to explain this to executives and managers, because it's very important, because at the end of the day, like these these technologies are very important. That's one thing. The other thing is educating the executives through social engineering. Like, there's so much out there that when it comes to hacking, like the
Yeah.
everyone in IT, and even the people that work in the company, everyone is cybersecurity. So you have to know how to educate the users and the clients, make sure they don't click on anything. They stay away from
Yeah.
clicking those free Starbucks coffees, like free Starbucks coffees or credit cards, or those things are very important. So like going back to what you said, yeah, soft skills are so important. Like I don't care what anyone says. Like if you know how to communicate, and if you have really good soft skills, a customer could be upset and angry at you, but if you have really good soft skills, they're not gonna get mad at you. Like, oh, okay, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
how it is. Mm-hmm.
So now,
Yep, yep.
since you mentioned cybersecurity, I've seen a lot of people having like they want to get into cyber, even people with no IT background or things like that. Do you recommend for someone to like study and prepare to get into cybersecurity directly without having no IT background, or is it even possible for them? What's your thought on that?
I see people get jobs in cybersecurity. It's possible to do that. It's possible to skip help desk altogether and go into cybersecurity. That's a real thing that does happen. But um, you need to know fundamentals. So
It's all
anyone
about the
that's
fundamental.
anyone that's brand new is like, if you go into a cybersecurity job, you need to know fundamentals. You don't know fundamentals, you're not going to be able to understand what you're doing. Just that's just the reality of IT. Is the fundamentals is very important. Like if I go into a SOC analyst role and they ask you about oh, can you pull up a report on Splunk and tell me about these vulnerabilities? And you'd be like, what the hell's a vulnerability? I don't know what that is.
My God.
You look at them like they're crazy. Like, what is that? And like, how
Yeah.
do I run this? And then they ask you, okay, can you pull up the command line? And we see threat and intrusions on our systems. We see people trying to get in and threat and intrusions on these computers. Can you give me the IP address of that computer? You don't know what that is. What the hell is an IP address? Or how do I open up the command line? Like you don't that's all basic
Yeah.
things, right? It's very basic, right? So fundamentals is very important. Once you learn fundamentals,
Mhm.
first, always in IT, no matter what job it is, it could be cybersecurity, sysadmin, help desk, IT support. Fundamentals are super important. That's the first thing you look at is fundamentals. Once you have fundamentals, now in cybersecurity, now, okay, what do I want to work in? Because now you're saying like, I want to work cybersecurity. It's like saying I want to be a doctor. There's like so many
Yeah.
jobs in cybersecurity. There's over 50 jobs in cybersecurity. So like, okay, do you want to work red team, blue team, purple team, GRC, government risk and compliance? Do you want to work in PCI? What do you want to do? Like, do you want to be in SOC analyst? Do you want to be a pen tester? Like, what do you want to do? So now that you have fundamentals, okay, I want to be, I don't know, pen team or red team, right? And be a hacker, right? Okay. How do you get that experience, right? Build a home lab, use TryHackMe, use Hack the Box. You gotta have you have all these resources out there. You just gotta look for them, and then you'll find those resources out there. And then you may have to get a certification like Security Plus or CEH or some of these jobs will ask you for a penetration certification,
Yep.
like the TCM security certifications. I don't know if you're familiar with that with Heath Adams,
Yep.
TCM,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like
Of
that.
course.
So like you see that in the job market. So it's very important that you understand what you're doing. But like I said, it goes back to fundamentals first. Don't skip on fundamentals because you're gonna be in trouble if you're trying to get into these high paying jobs. If you don't know fundamentals, you're in trouble. It's just
So
the
yeah, by
reality of IT.
fundamentals, you mean IP networking, computer hardware and software, everything foundational knowledge, right? In
Yes.
IT and cybersecurity. So for foundational knowledge, especially in cybersecurity, what do you recommend? How can one start learning about those foundational knowledge?
So a lot of people that are brand new to IT, I'm not sponsored by CompTIA, just so you're aware.
No, but they are really
They
good.
yeah, they start with people that are brand new to IT, they start with A plus, or they actually look at Professor Messer or Mike Myers, because Professor
Yep.
Messer has videos on YouTube for free.
Yep.
They get fundamentals based on that. And then after that, if you really want to get into networking, a lot of people go into Network Plus, and because Network Plus is all you need, you don't need anything else beyond that. You get CCNA, but that doesn't make any sense unless you're going to work for a CCNA, Cisco, specific thing. Then that makes sense. But Network Plus is more than enough for networking fundamentals. And
Yep.
then a lot of people go into Security Plus, but Security
Mhm.
Plus is like a lot of information in there too, so you get lost in that. So like a couple good resources for that again is Professor Messer,
Mhm.
Jason DeLon, Ian Neal. There's a few resources out there that are free. Some that are paid, not paid. So, like I said, you have to understand fundamentals, understand networking. So, Network Plus would be good to understand. So you have a strong base because, like I said, in the house you have to have a strong base. If not, the whole house will fall apart, right?
Yep.
It's the same thing with IT. You have to have a strong base. Then you have a strong base. You have fundamentals. You understand networking. Now you can go and look at those jobs. Like, okay, I want to do this. What do I want to do next? So you got to get the fundamentals first. It's very important. I never skip, like, even my YouTube channel is all about fundamentals. It's
Yeah, I
just so
watched those.
important that yes, it's
Yeah.
very important because I seen people try to go into red team hacking with hacking Active Directory, and I'm like, can you tell me what Active Directory is? I don't know what that is. Okay, can you tell me what group policy is? I don't know what that is. Can you tell me what
Yeah.
DNS DHCP is? I don't know what that is. So it's like very important that you know those fundamentals. And then you could go and do those things. So hopefully that
Yeah.
answers your question.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, how can you hack something if you don't understand how it works, right? You have to know how the system works in order to do some hacking on it. So, uh, about like someone gets the certification, they know the fundamentals, But the issue that are out there, that is out there, is that companies, they don't trust people. Like, how can someone without no IT experience or cybersecurity experience get into, like, get a job? Like, the hiring manager, they don't trust people like that easily. What's your recommendation?
So I always say build a home lab. It's very important. Build a home lab. Have some project work on your resume because then you could talk about that when you go for a job interview. The other thing is the human side of it. So like I know people don't like talking to people. Like some people are really shy, but I always recommend you join social events and go on platforms, go on
Mhm.
Discord, go on different platforms and reach out and talk to people. Because sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know. So those references are going to help you get a job in IT. So right now in the job market right now, if you guys don't know, like right now it's oversaturated with people applying for cybersecurity jobs. So you're
Mhm.
competing with sysadmins, you're competing with network admins, you're competing with help desk or IT support people. It's a lot of competition online. There's a lot of competition with other people. So the only way to
Yeah.
make yourself stand out is by having a LinkedIn account, but also by reaching out to people, reaching out to hiring managers, job recruiters, joining social events, talk to people, see who's hiring. You really got to network a lot. Like I got my job through networking. I literally got my job through networking. I didn't do anything else. There's no shortcut or there's no secret formula or anything. I literally just network and just talk to people. So if you network and you put yourself out there and really take the time to get to know other people. Some of those people are hiring managers, some of those are directors, some of
Yeah.
those are C-level folks. They're gonna ask you, "Oh, do you have your resume? Can I get a copy of your resume?" That's one thing. And the social events, like I said, there's a lot of social events that are free. Like there's like Zoom social events you could join, like if you don't want to go on site. Then there's in-person events that you could go to and bring a copy of your resume and just talk to hiring managers. Like I literally went to a cybersecurity event this week
This
on
weekend.
on Thursday, and the hiring manager is a director of cybersecurity, and he wanted to hire me on the spot. Like he literally wanted to hire me on the spot. I don't have a degree. He wanted to hire me. The reason why he wanted to hire me is he liked my personality, and I didn't bring a copy of my resume, but he knew who I was. He's like, oh, I know who you are. So it's just that it goes back to building your personal brand and people knowing who you are and what you're doing and helping other people too. Like sometimes you help someone else, you never know, they'll come back and help you again. So you never know what may happen. If you help somebody, they'll help you too. So it's just what it
Yeah,
is. It's a lot. It's
exactly.
very involved though. It's very involved. So
So
mhm.
yeah, I think the main issue is that people are afraid to get themselves out there. Like, it was the same case for me starting my YouTube channel. Like, who am I that I'm doing this? Who will listen to me? Like, things like that. I mean, what do you say about that? Like, people being shy, not posting or sharing on social media, like LinkedIn, things like that.
For me, like I always say, and I made a post on this on LinkedIn. I say everyone, no matter how long you've been in IT, even if you're new, everyone has something important and value to say. Everyone has their own opinion. Everyone has something important to say. It's just a matter of putting it out there. And
Love this. Yeah.
you benefit from other people that post stuff. Like I've been in IT for a long time, but I'm always learning something new from someone that's someone else that's new in IT. So you learn from each individual person. It doesn't have to, if you've been in IT for one day or you've been learning IT just one day, that one day of knowledge you have is more than enough. You could talk about it in LinkedIn. You could talk about it, make a post about it, make a video, make a blog, talk about what you did, talk about a lab you did, or talk about a weird issue
Yeah.
you had on LinkedIn and explain how you fixed it. Because when you make conversations like that, like if you've had an issue and you fix it, maybe someone else that follows you, they're reading that post and they're, oh, that's how he fixed it. Oh, okay, I'm gonna spend 2 hours on this issue. I know how to fix it now because he did it and he fixed it. So anything you put online is very valuable. It's valuable to everyone else. That's how I look at it. It doesn't matter how long you've been in IT. Everyone has
Yeah.
something important to bring. It's very important. So
Yeah, exactly, man. I love this. Like, even if you can help someone, like by posting one thing, and if that post helps that person, well, yeah, why not do it? Like, that's the best reason to do it, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely agree with you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, another question. So what are the, like, some of the common misconceptions or misunderstanding about cybersecurity industry today? Like, what's your thought on that?
And I actually made a post on this on LinkedIn too. I That's a common misconception on LinkedIn is that when you think about someone who works cybersecurity, they immediately think of someone opening up the terminal. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
green boxes with green lines on it, and someone's hacking and attacking, and then Mr. Robot and all this crazy stuff online. Like, that's not cybersecurity. Cybersecurity has more than that. You could be an
Yeah.
auditor. You could be an auditor. You could work stock analyst. You're not hacking 24/7. A lot of people think you're hacking. You're not. You're actually doing reports and writing reports, and that's a kind of like the boring stuff. You're actually like
Yeah.
writing
Yeah.
stuff all the time, so it's not
Yeah.
really
Report.
what you see in the movie is not the same as what you actually do in real life. It's completely different. So it's a misconception with people thinking that you're hacking all the time. You're not. You're not. Trust me, it's not like that. I wish it was like that, but it's not like that.
No, unfortunately, yeah, exactly.
hmm
So I think
Yeah.
we're running out of time here. So any last thoughts and or any tips that you can share for people who want to break into IT or cybersecurity, like that you want to
Me,
share with?
I always say that first job, that when you're brand new to IT, you will get a lot of no's, you'll get a lot of rejections. So it's important that you embrace rejection. You learn how to handle rejection. I know a lot of people don't like to don't handle rejection correctly. It's like dating. So basically, you're gonna get rejected a lot. I'm just saying,
Yeah,
it's just the reality of IT. You're gonna get rejected a lot, so you have to be able to accept rejection. That's very important. And the other thing is that that first job that you get in IT is super hard to get. Like, that really first job is hard to get. But once you get that first job and you get work experience on that resume, you're good after that. You'll find the opportunities and the jobs and all the stuff that comes along with it. It'll come along. Everything will get better over time after that. It's just getting that first job.
that
You got to
first job.
focus
Yeah,
on getting that first
exactly.
job. That's it. It'll work out after that. Trust me. It's very
So
important. But you have to have that strong mindset. The
so
mindset.
you, I see that you helped a lot of people. So how many rejection they should expect? Like 10, 20, 100? Like,
Oh, over 100. Like, my second job, I applied and I made a LinkedIn post on this, and that LinkedIn post went viral. I got like 300,000 likes or 300,000 views.
wow,
And
okay.
that's because I went for a job interview. The manager never showed up. I had an interview on Zoom.
Mhm.
I had an interview online. The person never showed up. I had an interview with a hiring manager. He laughed at me because he the job. I had another interview with another manager. He said that, why should I hire you? We have no work experience. I had another manager ghosted me. Like, he said he was gonna interview me. He ghosted me completely. And I had 150 rejections. And then after that, I finally got a job in IT. And that job that I got hired because of my personality. That's it. Nothing tech related. And I made a post about that, and our post went viral because people can relate to
Yeah,
that. You get ghosted a lot. You get rejected a lot. Sometimes managers don't want to give you a chance. That's just the reality of IT, and I'm trying to change that. I do, like, I will put you on blast if you have a job posting and if it says 5 years of work experience in the CISSP for an entry level job, I'm gonna put you on
that's
blast.
absurd.
I'm gonna get really annoyed. It's just the reality of IT. So
Yeah, it's all about
mhm.
the hard work. Like everyone can learn the technical stuff, but what makes you unique is your personality, like you mentioned, like soft skills, things like that.
Yeah, it's just be yourself. That's it. You don't gotta pretend to be anyone else. Just be yourself, and you'll find that people will just appreciate you for being genuine, just being yourself. Don't be someone else that you're not. And that's one thing. The other thing is, never compare yourself to someone else. Everyone's success story is different. We all end up in IT, but we all end up in IT at a different time. Not everyone's gonna end up. Not everyone gets a job in 1 week or 2 weeks. It takes time. Everyone's journey is
Yeah.
different. So don't compare yourself to other people.
Thank you
Very
so much,
important.
Kevin, for sharing all these valuable insights. It's v- like out of this world, man. Thank you so much. So, where people can find you and reach out to you on social
uh,
media.
you could find me as Kevin Apollinario. You could find me as KevTech IT support. You could find me at KevTech IT support on Instagram, Twitter, and Discord, and also my YouTube channel. So,
Yeah, cool.
yep.
Thank you so much. That's
Thank
perfect,
you.
Kevin.
Thank you for having me.